Hi, everyone. Again, my wonderful audience. On this very special day, I have a special guest coming from a bit far from our studio this time. And that's the reason I'm doing a recorded session for on this very special occasion of 13th of June, 2025. Let me welcome my guest, Reverend Father John Puthua, far from Darwin. Welcome to our show, Father.
Thank you for your warm welcome.
I know that my listeners, you must have seen my previous video a long time ago when Father was here in Melbourne and introducing him and his amazing works that he was doing for Indian community. And then he moved to Australia to serve our country here. And now he's passionate and putting his time and effort to service in the parishes around Darwin. Father, can you share about your current experience, where you are at the moment? What is your parish, and what's your normal day-to-day activities in the other side of Australia?
Thank you for welcoming me. I am Father Dr. John Puthua. At present, I am the parish priest in Saint Alphonsa Syro Malabar Parish in Darwin, Northern Territory. It's a corner of Australia. It's a middle part, we can say. We have around 145 Catholic families. On Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, we have Holy Mass. And Sunday, we have catechism around 140 children. They come for catechism.
Mhm.
And like that, the parish is running.
That's very good because we know that wherever we go, we have these people from Kerala, and it's interesting to see that we have more than 100 families there. It's
Yes,
an emerging area of Catholic faith. And I know
yes,
that we have many different First Nation people around in that area, and then you have a great mission there to spread the good news to the whole world, and especially in Darwin.
yes.
I'm actually not going to the big mission over there now, but today I really want to concentrate about a young person going to be called a saint on 13th of June. And we know that that life actually inspired many people, including you, and you were fortunate to go and see his house and investigate a lot about his life and the importance of becoming a saint in that way. So let me introduce that great person becoming a saint. And can you share about that great saint, and I would say that young person of our Catholic faith? So I want you to share with me who is this great saint and what are the main things or main qualities that you can share to our audience about this special person.
I'm so happy to share about Saint Carlo Acutis. He's going to be called as a saint. He's to be canonized on 13th of June this month, 2025, very especially in the Jubilee year. I'm happy to share about that saint. From around 2009 onwards, every year I go to Europe, very especially to Italy. Traveling is one of my hobbies. And on my trip to Italy, I have spent 2 days in Assisi. One of
Mm.
my friends was there as in that parish as a priest. Then I stayed there. Then I visited the Chapel of Renunciation. The
Mhm.
Chapel of Renunciation, where we can see the body of Saint Carlo Acutis in that chapel. Then I just inquired in the year 2014 when I visited that church. I
Mm.
just inquired about who this boy is. Then one or two persons were sitting there. Then I just asked to them, who is this boy? And they said to me, we don't know. Some people come and pray in front of this boy. Then next year I again went, 2015. Then I stayed there and I prayed before that small body of that Saint Carlo. Now, at that time he was not a saint. Then I inquired about him. He was Carlo Acutis from Milan, Italy. Then I thought now thought to visit his home when it is possible. Then I went again on 2017. I went to Assisi. I prayed before him. Then I got the address and phone number of his family. Then 2017, I called them. I am coming to Milan. I want to visit your home. As a blessed parents, I want to talk to you. Then they welcomed me, and I went to his home. Then I thought I had an inspiration when I went again in the year 2018, September it was. I was praying in front of that boy's body, and that tomb, we can say, it was covered with a glass. And then I got an inspiration to write something about Carlo Acutis and introduce him to the Indian community, very especially Indian Catholic community. So I wrote the first book in Malayalam. And then I translated that book into English, then to Hindi. So three books we have already published. The Malayalam book was the first book about Carlo Acutis in Indian language, one of the Indian language, the first book.
Mm. Yeah.
More copies has gone. From that time onwards, Indian community, very especially Indian Catholic people, they knew about Carlo Acutis. He was born in the year 1991, May 3rd. But Carlo, his family was in London. Then the family shifted to Italy, where he grew up as an ordinary child. His parents, Andrea Acutis and Antonio Salzano. His primary education was in Leo XIII school run by Jesuits in Milan. Unfortunately, before Carlo could complete his school education, he was diagnosed by leukemia. So he died in the year 2006, October 12th.
Very short
So,
life,
very
right?
short
Yeah,
life.
very short life.
Right.
What was the things that really impressed you while you were having this investigation and having conversation with his parents?
I can say it is an unforgettable moment which I had in my life. To
Hmm.
visit that time, he was not a servant of God. He was not a blessed, and he
Mm.
was not a saint. But that was an opportunity which I got, an unforgettable moment to visit his home and meet his parents. So
Mhm.
that from I can say Holy Spirit led me to that house.
Exactly, because it's a wonderful news for Indian community knowing about a person or a little kid from Milan, and then somehow this body is there, and it's not decomposing as well. So it's a very special story that you saw with your own eyes and sharing to our Indian community.
Yes.
So I know that I was cutting off your conversation. Then you mentioned that he diagnosed with a leukemia and
Yes.
then he passed away. But how come he became a saint? Like, lots of people are going through this, heartful disease and cancer and everything. But we are not seeing that everybody is becoming into that great sainthood list. So, what's the speciality about this little kid?
He was leading a very good spiritual life.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great devotion to Blessed Sacrament. He went to the church for Mass every day. He never
Mm-hmm.
missed a Holy Mass in his life, he says.
Yeah.
He always said to his mom and his friends that the Eucharist is my highway to heaven. That is the
Yeah.
famous quote from
From him.
Carlo Acutis.
Yeah. I can connect to that our forefathers Jacob. Jacob was fighting with God, and then he saw
Yes,
that bridge from heaven to earth, and the angels were going up and down. So that's a highway to heaven that we can
yes,
see from
yes,
Old
yes,
Testament. But
yes.
he he experienced as the Holy Eucharist as a special highway to the heaven. I really wanna,
Yes.
give you a bit of like a statistics that I learned from Australia. That even in Catholic community in Australia, 65% of people, minimum 65% of Catholics are not believing that Jesus is present in the Holy Eucharist.
Yes.
They believe, like other Pentecost and other Christian church, that that is just a symbol. But as a Catholic, we truly believe that that transubstantiation is actually happening in the Holy Mass, and we receive Jesus, we receive Him as a real person. So, what do you feel about this little boy's belief in that in that real Eucharist? And then, what was the things that really touched you?
After his first Holy Communion, when he came out from the church, he
Hmm.
told his mom that I have received Jesus in me.
Hmm.
I have received not bread, but he said, I have received Jesus in me. And he
Hmm.
said, he has written on his wall of the room, it is an unforgettable day in my life, the first Holy Communion day. It is an
Hmm.
unforgettable day in my life.
Yeah.
That's why he said, this is the heaven too. This is the highway to heaven. That's
Hmm.
why he had produced a website on the Eucharistic miracles.
Yeah.
I think all over the world it has gone. He
Yes.
has he was very expert in computer. He got an internet. He has Facebook account. He was very expert in it. So with his that mind and his ability, he has produced a website on Eucharistic miracles.
Yeah, I was fortunate to see his exhibition in
Yes,
Victoria recently, and then there
yes,
was a first class relic of his hair was
yes, yes.
going around Australia as part of this canonization. The interesting thing I picked up from that, his work that he did in Facebook and his website is like he was going deep into all the Eucharistic miracle happened in the history of Catholic Church. And we know that we are so thrilled to hear the latest miracle happen in India recently.
In
And then,
Kerala,
yeah, in Kerala.
Vilakanur.
And then Rome approved that miracle.
Yes,
So
yes, yes,
it is happening every now and then. So can you share
yes.
with us a little more about the miracles that he explained in his website and in this, seminars, and then all these different things that he did in his small life?
His aim of making these Eucharistic miracles, he
Hmm.
has said to his friends that the people, those who should believe in the Eucharist, and they should come to the Holy Eucharist
Hmm.
every day or at least Sundays. His aim was that through
Hmm.
this exhibition, the people should believe that the presence of Jesus is there in the Eucharist. The
Hmm.
Eucharist, when we receive, we are receiving Jesus.
Yeah.
His aim was that come to Jesus. The people may come to Jesus through my website, through these Eucharistic miracles. The Eucharistic miracle happens means the real presence of Jesus is there.
Yeah.
That's why the miracle happens.
So I know that, he had this leukemia. He was going through the treatments. His parents moved back to Italy from London, and then different things happened. But when this all these incidents about this person came to, like, or discovered by our church, when was that happen and how that happened?
In when he was 15, he
Hmm.
was diagnosed by this illness.
Yeah.
Then he died in the year 2006, October
Hmm.
12th. Before his death, he was the only son that time. Then he took the hands of his mother and father and kept the hands on his body and said, you will get a gift from God when I go.
Hmm.
After 1 or 2 years, she was They got a
Another
twin
baby.
children. That was
Okay.
the gift he
Hmm.
uh, they
You were.
received from God.
Okay, so Acuity's got two younger siblings
Yes,
now.
yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. That's great. So, how old are they? Are they boys or girls?
No, boys. When I
Yes.
went there, they were not there. They went to
Oh,
school.
okay. Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I
Okay,
couldn't meet
so
them.
that's the one thing that I would say, that sort of like a prophecy that he did during his
Yes,
deathbed, that some gift will come to you, and that happened. And then how that gone into these books of church, because I know that it's not easy to become a saint, and then you need to
yes,
do
yes,
many
yes.
different investigation, and then you need to find out the miracles through the
Yes.
intercession of this particular person. Can you share a bit more about the process, and then how he became into that blessed person's list?
The process should come from the parish priest. The
Oh, okay.
parish priest is the one who took interest about this boy
Uh-huh.
because he was a model in that parish.
Hmm.
When he was year 7, he became a catechism teacher in that parish.
Oh,
He
okay.
was teaching catechism, he was teaching God, he was teaching about Christ to his friends and other children. So he was attending Mass daily. So this
Hmm.
parish priest is evident. He sees this little child every day in the Mass and very actively participating in the Rosary and everything. So when
Hmm.
he died, the parish priest is the one who told the bishop, the diocesan bishop. Then through that, the process came.
Hmm.
To become a servant of God, the diocese can take the decision.
Hmm.
Then in
Okay.
the year 2018, he became the servant of God.
Mm-hmm.
Then the one miracle should happen. So the church should be called this boy as blessed. Then the
Mm-hmm.
miracle happened. A Brazilian boy uh, got the healing touch of his sickness through the intercession of Carlo
Okay.
Acutis. Then that
Hmm.
was the miracle the Vatican accepted. Then the
Yeah.
Vatican called him as blessed in the year
Mm-hmm.
2020, October
Mm-hmm.
10, in Assisi. Now the another miracle came that's
Mm-hmm.
happened. That's why he is called as a saint. The canonization happens.
That's great. I know that like he loves Assisi, and then that's a real reason that his
Yes,
body is actually there in Assisi. And it's great to see that it's open to everybody, and then you can see him sleep just like sleeping in in like
yes,
sneakers and then normal dress that we all do wear. Because when we see or hear about saints, they are all like 100 years old, or that may be like a old
yes,
story for people who are active and alive in this world. But when you see a person like a similar dresses or similar things that we wear, having a backpack, and then having that footballs and normal activities of all the youngsters are doing, we can resonate a lot with that person.
yes, yes.
That will give an understanding, like, I can also be a saint.
That's right.
um,
That's right.
yeah, so I just want to check with you, like church is calling him as patron for internet. So is it because, like, his interest that he was utilizing the websites for the real mission of spreading God?
Yes, he was very expert in computer and
Hmm.
he was a good player. He
Okay.
played football. He played different games. That's why he was in that tennis jeans and shoes. His favorite dress that was, and
Yeah.
yeah, and he was using that games to spread Jesus.
Hmm.
And he was very much expert in the technical, very especially the computer,
Hmm.
and he was using that. He played video games. He was
Yep.
very much fond of Superman. Like that,
Hmm.
he was very, but he used only 1.5 hours in a week. He played video games. Now, the
Hmm.
modern children, most of the time, they are spending their time in the video games. But he
Yeah.
spent only 1.5 hours in a week. He was very much expert, and his head is like that in the computer and all other based on That technology, he was very expert. He was
I think
using that for spreading the message of Jesus.
I think we should learn from him, and as
Yes,
parents, especially us, like, if you have the skill set in any area, if you are using that to glorify God and spreading God's message, that's what the real purpose of
yes,
having that God-given gift. And then I think he utilized the whole time when he was even in the hospitals and going through the treatment. He was keen to spread the news of Eucharist to the people. And I do remember that he was talking with his friends and then talking about his game, but all the same at the same time talking about Jesus. So, and the kids were also excited to know more and more about him. Can you
yes.
share your, I know that you talked to their parents, you visited their house and then Assisi many different times. And I know that you are a guide for many people to see the Holy Land. So can you share with us like the experience that you mentioned that it was so heartful feeling that when you went and then visited them. But what was the real thing that really touched when you were having that repeated visit to this particular special person in your life?
Just like Carlo Acutis, I'm very much fond of Saint Francis of Assisi.
Hmm.
So he is from the place of Assisi. And whenever I go to Assisi, I'm allowed to stay any day in that Assisi Basilica. I'm very
Hmm.
much connected with the authorities of the Basilica. So normally when I go, I stay there and I pray there. That's a beautiful place for prayer, this
Hmm.
Basilica of Assisi. Then very close to there, the Chapel of Renunciation, where Carlos' body was killed. There also I go and pray there. Through that, I could know more about Carlo, a Pakka saint.
Hmm.
He led a saintly life. I can say he is the model for our children now. He
Hmm.
used his computer. He had his own Facebook account. Now the modern children, the example of modern children, that is Carlo Acutis. But he used he used all this technology for spreading the gospel, and he was a disciple of Jesus, we can say, in this modern world, a model for all the children in the world now. That's why I am spreading his message wherever I get chance. I go. Last month, I was in Adelaide, and I
Hmm.
spread this powerful PowerPoint presentation about Carlo to the children. Wherever I get chance, schools or churches, I go and speak about Carlo. Could that much I had connection with them, with the
Hmm.
saint.
That's really great because you're actually picking that saint to Australia, I would say, because Australia is a country we need more people that connected to the youngsters because
Yes,
youngsters is fully I would say addicted to the media, but
correct.
the dark age of media is not taking them into a peaceful mindset, but instead they're giving them worry, anxiousness, and all different type of negative energy. So if you can share a story of a person who utilized the same technology for a positive reason and then spreading the good news of Jesus Christ, that's a great thing that we can do
Yes, yes.
as a mission. So I'm just wondering about our church. What is church is going to do with this specific saint?
Uh, Pope Francis was very much interested to bring this boy as a saint to be called.
Hmm.
That we need a modern child to be a saint for the as a model to the modern children.
Yeah.
That's why he is the model. He has his own computer.
Yeah.
Now he had played video games. So we need a boy or girl like this to become a saint, and then that saint can be a model for the modern children here in the world.
Hmm.
That is the Pope's interest, it was.
Yeah, and I know that we had announced a date, but because of our Pope Francis, the demise and all those, official ceremonies, we had to postpone this canonization, and it's happening on a great, great
Yes.
date, I would say. Carlo will be really happy if it is happening on the 13th of June, right? The very
The feast
special
of
feast of Saint
Saint
Anthony.
Anthony.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So, it is a great day that we always pray to Saint Anthony, but at the same time, we are getting another saint to intercede for us. And at the same time, I would say intercede for all the kids who are using internet, not just the kids, like I would say the whole world is connected
Yes,
with
the seniors
internet.
or youngsters also using.
Yeah. So I am actually interested to know about your latest books. I know that Dr. Father John Puthua got lots of books in your under your title. What is the latest book that you just released? Can you share about that, please?
Yeah, the book about Carlo with all the pages with his photos, colorful photos, and more information about Carlo Acutis. That is the
Mm,
fourth book of about Carlo. I have already published that book mainly for the children in all over the world.
mm, mm,
That's
mm.
why I have added more pictures in each pages.
Yeah,
They should know more about Carlo and they should go through all the pages and read, and they should take Carlo as a model. That's my 14th book in
14th.
my career. This is and the other book also about Blessed Cara Luce, already published in Kerala.
Mm-hmm.
She's also going to become a saint.
A saint.
She died in
Okay.
the age.
So you got 14th book and more to
Yes.
come, I'm sure
Yes.
about it. And then
Yeah.
where do we get your books in Australia? Is that available online for us as Australians?
I'm planning to get through online, but I
Yeah,
am giving to these copies from my hand and I'm sending the people in
people.
their own
Okay,
address if they contact me.
so I would recommend my listeners, if you want a copy of these books, especially about Carlos, let me know and let the father knows, and I'll be putting a link, contact details right after this video, so that you can connect Father John directly. And then, if you are somewhere near Darwin, please come and visit Father, and then he is excited to share his stories, and then maybe you can take him to your parish to have presentation and then spread the good news of this great saint. I know that you are not just a writer, you are doing different things actually in drama as well. Can you share a little bit about your recent award that you got and then explain what was it, please?
I have awarded 2 3 times from Indian government. One about the social work I have done in India.
Yes.
That was awarded from Bombay. And then from Kerala, I have ordered Bishop Kundugulam Award for my social work, which I have done in the
Yes.
prison ministry, in the jails, and in the streets, children among the streets children. I have awarded like this kind of award. I have got. That's all.
Yeah. So if you do not know his previous work back in India, he was one of the missionaries that who gone to that real jail, Tihar jail, and then talked to
Yes,
the prisoners and spread the good news to them. And then there were lots of testimonies about his good work in there. And then I personally know him from very young age. He was the parish assistant priest. I think your first mission as a priest
yes,
was in
yes,
my parish, and
yes,
then we were so motivated with that energy and enthusiasm that you shared with us as parishioners. And then you are like, continuing that after this many years. So, Father, I really would love to thank you and appreciate all your great works that you're doing for our good God. And
yes,
then we would love to come and visit you and then connect with you for different things.
yes.
Before we end up this session, I really would love to get your message to my listeners. So the listeners always hear about different things, but the common element of all the guests in my show is that the person who coming to my show is spreading love, joy, and peace, and especially Christ peace. So, as a priest and spreading that in your whole life and dedicating your life for Jesus, what is a message that we can share to my audience?
Be always good. This goodness we need. from us. And this goodness is the model for all things. And we smile always. This smiles always solves many problems. And silence so many problems removes from us. The
Yes.
smile and silence, it helps us a lot. And whatever life we can, how much life we have, lead a good life, mainly focusing to the society, to the nation, and to our God.
Thank you. That's the hard thing, to show the smile with your full heart to others in
Yes.
this world. But I think that's the remedy, a medicine that we can utilize for all the problems. So thank you, Father,
Thank
for
you.
your time. I know that in your busy schedule, having this time, and then it's a great blessing for us to, share your wonderful work about the Saint Carlos Acutis on the same day of canonization that's happening on 13th June, Friday 2025. And then that's the reason why I wanted to pick up your wisdom and the your great work that you're doing
Yes.
for this very special reason. So
This is the
please,
fourth book.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
fourth
about
book.
Carlo Acutis.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And then we'll be connecting with you to get a bit more copies to Melbourne area that we can share with the people here,
Yes.
because we'll be really interested to know more about this young saint,
Yeah.
because I do have three boys and I want them to be saints as well, because
Okay, very good.
we need to share the good news of people are doing in this world. This world is filled with good people, but the thing is, like, we are not sharing that good news to the other people. So thank you again, Father,
Thank you.
for your time on our special show called Dominus Nisi, and all the very best for your next book.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.